want to touch on something I've been thinking about a lot, which is the idea that whatever you fuck up at, it's going to continue occurring until you learn what you're doing. And so, in essence, until you learn whatever lesson you should be learning based off of your experiences, the lesson will keep presenting itself to you. And I think that that is so powerful, because 2021 was a hard year for me, and I really internalized that lesson. It really helped me shape 2021, especially the second half of it, and I think it gave me a lot of comfort, because I had to confront a lot of the painful emotions that I was going through and subconsciously avoiding. And so by becoming aware of them, which is really the first step, and allowing yourself to even intellectualize it, you will be better able to feel, whatever it is you're thinking about, if you're not already doing so. And I think by really instilling that autonomy over your feelings and telling yourself, I'm making an active choice to allow whatever unpleasant emotions I'm feeling, I think that gives you a lot more power. And you could even argue it allows you to control whatever emotions you're feeling more than if you were just being reactive all the time, or misplacing those emotions onto other people or things or experiences. So that's what that lesson means to me, of you have to confront things eventually, otherwise you will continue reacting to things, triggers, in the same way that maybe you're not meant to react in that way. So, or you were meant to learn the lesson before, and that is no longer serving you, and so you're stuck in this state of purgatory of not just reacting in similar ways, but also doing similar things. So in my case, I think part of why my last year was so painful is because it was also familiar, and a lot of the things I was experiencing were, if they weren't triggers, then I had already been there before. Even if whatever experience was very real, I still had experienced similar things with other people and with myself. And so yeah, I want that lesson to be the theme of this video, because to me it's one of the most powerful ways to summarize my 2021, and one of the most truthful ways to summarize it. I do want to talk more about the details. I think what I'm alluding to a lot of last year is that I haven't been single since literally January of 2017. I've been in back-to-back monogamous relationships, and they have been on and off, but for the majority of all the years since 2017, I've been in a relationship, and I've been either committed to or thinking about getting back together with someone. Now I've been single since late July, and a lot of things definitely came up for me right after my ex-partner and I split. I started noticing that, first off, I was crushing on everyone. I was attaching myself emotionally, or the idea of, to almost every person. And it's also very gendered. Most of them were cis men, which there's something to say about that. But yeah, and I started noticing that more and more in myself, and I think that I started attaching myself to people so reactively after my breakup, because I honestly couldn't help myself. It was my automatic response, and something felt wrong about that. I knew intellectually that I didn't want to be committed to someone so soon, and yet my automatic bodily response was to envision, idealize other people. And it was so, the baseline was so low. It was anyone I would meet, pretty much, that I even remotely thought was cute. So that was super interesting to me, because for a long time in my monogamous relationships, I've wanted to be open, and it's always been me that proposes it, and it's never really worked out. And so I wonder what the connection is between my desire for non-monogamy and also this desire to feel seen, or desire to have attention from a lot of cis men, or people in general. And I don't know, bro, I think that being a Gemini stellium definitely has something to do with it. But this is the long version of a lesson that I had to learn, which is really sit with myself and question why I was attaching myself emotionally so readily to anyone that would even talk to me. And intellectually I knew that this is not what was best for me, not even what I wanted. It just kind of happened. And since then I've gotten much better at really not responding in that way. But it definitely is a lesson that I had to learn, detaching that desire of idealizing someone so hard. And I think right after my breakup was probably my peak time when I was idealizing the shit out of anyone that would look at me. Maybe because that's what I was doing with my ex, and that's how I survived in a lot of that relationship, by holding on to this idea of what I wanted for us. So maybe it was my way of surviving also not being in that relationship anymore, by doing that with other people, because I no longer could do it with my ex. So welcome to my therapy session. LOL. So yeah, that's something that's been on my mind a lot, and that's a big lesson that I've learned, and I feel much more grounded now and not as reactive and not as able to let my idea of other people influence my emotions as much. If someone couldn't hang out, I was in distress, and especially someone that I was idealizing romantically, I was immediately in distress, triggered to feeling so rejected, and that's hell, dude. That's fucking hell. So I no longer feel that way, thank fucking God. And through the help of also reading about Maoism, I've learned to see the value of thinking more objectively and analyzing situations more objectively. So yeah, that is the theme of this video, and the skating bits honestly are not really relevant to this. I just thought they were cool. I don't know how to end this, but that's one of the lessons I learned, and this is how I want to start out this channel, by just reflecting on my past year, especially the latter half of 2021, and what I've forced myself to confront, knowing that that was what was best for me. So,